Welcome, everyone. Hello, and I see you. Can you hear me? Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. We'll be starting in a minute. Is everyone able to hear me okay? Fantastic. All right. Good afternoon. So, first things first, a little bit of housekeeping. You guys can all see me. I can't see you, but I will be able to see your comments. And if you have any questions in the chat and in the questions section, during this webinar, I'd like to keep it a bit conversational. I do have a small PowerPoint to show you, but I'm really not hung up on sticking to my slides. This is really about having a dialogue so that I can answer questions that are really relevant and specific to your business. I feel that that's important, because then I know that I'm actually sowing and contributing tangibly to your knowledge and to growing your business. So really, when we talk about entrepreneurship and businesses that are small, we think, I look at it as small business with a big future, right? But there are a couple of fundamentals that would underpin the growth and the success that you would need to look at in your business. And one of the first things is identifying what a customer need is. So a lot of people ask me, how do I know what my customers need? How do I know if I'm satisfying my customers in terms of their needs? How do I define what their needs are? And in business, there really is one simple answer to what a customer need is. A customer need is really when you provide a solution to a problem, right? If there's a problem, there's a need. If your business, your product satisfies or takes away, mitigates, or removes the problem, that's it. You've sorted the need. That then becomes the foundation of your business. And that then becomes your customer base, your niche, your space that you play in. All the people for whom your product or your service cancels their specific problem become your actual customers. And essentially, you then start unlocking solutions to mitigate their problems. And then you have your customers. And that's how your business essentially grows, right? Now, the kind of problems that that's are solved for in a business are pricing. You have to be priced right. Quality. You need to provide a quality service or a quality product relevant to your price. And you need to empower your customers or your consumers with the ability to choose for themselves. But most importantly, you need to offer a degree of convenience. So if something is inconvenient, it's a problem. It's not a solution. If something is priced right, the quality is correct and relevant in terms of what they're paying, and they then can choose that that's what they would like, and you offer it in a convenient and easy way, you've literally solved all of their problems and you become the go-to for their solutions. And that is essentially how you deliver great service and start growing your business. Sounds very simple, right? The main ingredient in terms of making sure that you satisfy your customers and you meet their expectations is to never overpromise and underdeliver. Remember this OPUD, OPUD, overpromise, underdeliver, will kill your business dead, folks. Remember, customers are loyal to experiences that are good. Customers are loyal to brands, products, companies that solve their problems, not create more problems for them. So by meeting their expectations in a relevant and easy way, by not overpromising and underdelivering, you're eradicating those problems, right? And you're creating loyal customers. Loyal customers are paying customers, and paying customers deliver profit. David Ogilvy said it best. The customer is not a moron. She is your wife or your husband, or it could very well be you in a different circumstance. And then the question I get a lot is, so what about social media? How does social media play a role in helping me grow my business? And what social media platforms do I need to be on? And what social media do I need to put up? You know, do I need to have videos? Do I need to have static pictures? Should I be on Twitter, on Facebook, on LinkedIn? How do I know what the right social media platform is for me? So if you're unsure, you need to understand that small business, first things first, you are competing against big businesses, big brands with lots of money to spend on their advertising on social media. You therefore need to think very cleverly about how you use social media and what medium is right for your business. For a small business, I often tell clients when I'm mentoring them that WhatsApp is a very, very powerful tool. You know, when you start WhatsApping a group of people and ask them in your family and in your friends circles to share that information amongst their family and friends and have them share it amongst their family and friends. So you develop a network very, very quickly. But attached to that network is something very powerful for any business. It's word of mouth. Customers trust, customers find authenticity in testimonials. So in referrals, in being told by somebody they know that a product or a brand or a service is excellent. It delivers on client expectations, is affordable, is quality, is convenient, and is affordable, you know, inexpensive. You create another little acronym, WOMBAT, WOMBAT, which stands for word of mouth advertising is the best acquisition tactic. Now, why do you want word of mouth? Because you want to be able to grow your business with a loyal base, and you like to rope in other people to assist in growing your business, because it costs a business 10 times more to acquire a new customer than it does to look after an existing customer, believe it or not. So customer retention, by making sure you meet expectations, you don't overpromise and underdeliver, those are the ingredients for long-term relationships, right? It's like dating, guys. You meet somebody, you want to show up right, you want to give them what they're looking for, right? And you want to stay in communication with them. And WhatsApp is a wonderful personal mechanism in order to create a dialogue with individual customers. But it's also a great mechanism to get word of mouth out and to have the beginning of what is a customer database that you can use later on. So what are the benefits of social media for any business, right? Obviously, it's going to help you build brand awareness. It increases your customer base. So it then starts growing from beyond the telephone numbers on your phone, from the WhatsApp group, into the abyss, the internet realm. And it helps connect your business or your brand or product with customers in a relevant way. But before you get onto all kinds of social media platforms, you need to know exactly who your customers are. You need to know what their likes are. You need to know what social media platforms they're using and when they're accessing those social media platforms. That's why I always recommend starting with WhatsApp first as a small business and then migrating onto social media platforms. You can use your own social media pages or profiles to advertise that you have a business, and you can advertise your WhatsApp number on there and ask people to opt in if they would like to know a little bit more. This is how you can use your social media very, very effectively without necessarily paying for advertising on social media platforms off the bat and having to compete with very large corporations who are spending huge amounts of money on their social media advertising. And then the golden question. So if I've got all the formula right and the foundation is correct, how then do I forecast my sales? Because I think I'm in the dream space, but in reality, my bank account shows the reality space. The only advice I can give you, because this is key to any business, is to accurately forecast sales using past sales information. So the data that you have available. If you don't have enough data in your own business in terms of past sales, look at industry-wide comparisons. That information is generally available online or at industry bodies. And then you can look at current economic trends. Read, and see what information out there is relevant to your business and will help you accurately determine exactly what your company's short-term and long-term performance will be based on the behavior of customers in your experience from your past sales, as well as from the sector in which you are participating, your business participates in, and then, of course, within the broader economy. And remember, guys, even though this is a very difficult time right now economically, customers haven't stopped buying. They're just buying in a very different way. And that's it in terms of the PowerPoint. So now I'd like to invite everybody to ask whatever questions they may have, and I will do my best to answer all of you. I see Kieran has asked, is customer satisfaction the main function of business and profit the end goal? So I think these are two parts, a two-part question. Customer satisfaction absolutely is the main function of business, because a happy customer creates word of mouth. A happy customer becomes an advocate and advertising, free advertising for you, okay? And of course, profit will come from that, because more advertising, more testimonials to acquire new customers means more sales means more profit, right? And ultimately, profit in a business, even for a non-profit organization, generating revenue for a business is the ultimate end goal. Renee is asking, what if my product is not unique? How do I differentiate myself from my competitors? Remember, I spoke about experience and solving for solutions. So if you position yourself as a solutions provider and you deliver great customer experience, that ultimately keeps customers coming back from and potentially will take customers away from your competitors. A little sneaky thing to do is become a customer of your competitors. Experience the customer journey with your competitors and see how you can outmaneuver them in terms of delivering a better service and a better experience for your customers. I hope that answers your question, Renee. Are there any other questions from those in attendance? You have my undivided attention, and this is a great time for me to answer whatever questions you have, sort of that are relevant to your business, instead of going really generic. Kieran is also asking, how do you create a loyalty program? Loyalty programs or customer relationship management is a lot of admin. Very easy to create a loyalty program if you start with something as simple as a card with little stamps. So every time somebody comes and purchases your product or service, you get a little stamp. And after X number of stamps, you give them some kind of benefit that is over and above what they would have been purchasing for. So a nice little example is, I love shoes. And there's a particular store that I go to that stamps my card every time I buy a pair of shoes. So when my card is full and one card has 10 stamps on it, there's no expiration date And when I've reached 10 stamps, I literally get 20% discount off my next purchase. So a loyalty program is designed to keep the customers coming back. So to incentivize them to keep returning, but keep purchasing whilst they return. So again, with a loyalty program, the most important ingredient, do not overpromise and underdeliver. Make sure that your customers are satisfied and that they want to come back to fill up their little card and get their stamps. It doesn't need to be overly complicated. Offer customers a reward for coming back over and over and over. That reward could be when they next purchase. So in other words, you don't always have to give away free stuff to cost your business, but you can entice additional spend through the rewards program. I hope I'm answering you correctly, Kieran. But you can also partner with service providers that could provide your customers with some kind of added value. So let's just talk about the shoe shop again. If my loyalty program allows me to get my suede shoes cleaned at a service provider at 20% discount, that also is a great incentive for me to keep coming back. Or if I get some kind of incentive at another company when I reach my threshold, right? So you can start building partnerships with different service providers that are relevant to your business, and then reward people for purchasing from you by giving them access to other products and services that don't necessarily compete with your business, but that deliver great experience and great customer loyalty. Monique is asking, how can I compete with customers that have social media fatigue? It feels like there are so many options and I'm always hustling against the low price dealer. Earlier on, I spoke about price and quality being very important. Don't outprice yourself in terms of quality, and make sure that if you are going to discount your product, that you factor in profitability, your hard costs, right? But most importantly, how you hustle against the low price dealer is by giving that added value or that extra experience by partnering with other service providers that give a customer more bang for their buck. In terms of social media fatigue, right now, consumers are on social media all the time because of the lockdown. More than ever, people are on social media. The question is, do you have relevant information for each social media platform? And do you have enough budget to compete against the big players who are advertising on social media? Very, very difficult to do that if you are a small business. So my suggestion again is keep it within your circle by using your own social media platforms and stuff, a platform like WhatsApp, effectively in order to create a nice customer base that is loyal and profitable for yourself and your business. Renee's asking, I'm not sure how to use WhatsApp to talk to my customers. Do you have any suggestions? Very easy. You use WhatsApp to take a picture or a little video of whatever it is that you do. A little clip, 60 seconds of yourself explaining your product or showcasing the product or showcasing how the product works. Nothing more than 60 seconds because data, people, costs money. And then you send it to friends and family and ask them to like and share. Make sure that you include your contact information so that people can get in touch with you in order to order or buy from you. If you have a smartphone, there are many applications that you can download that are free that can help you create a video, put a little bit of sound on it, and also put titles like a PowerPoint in frame, with your price and your contact information. So that's a start. Really just a simple WhatsApp message with a video or a picture of what it is that you're selling and your contact information. And don't forget to let people know what the benefit of the product is and to ask them to share it and take it from there. Yeah, so essentially, let's just see, there's some more questions here. All right. Kieran, it's an absolute pleasure. He's saying that he's learned something new. I hope you've all learned something new today. The the whole purpose of the webinar is to be able to have this kind of dialogue and to make sure that you get relevant information for your business. So the questions are so important, guys. Keep them coming. So what are great freeware marketing apps, Monique is asking, that you can use in your small business? So great freeware apps are, I'm not going to punt any brands, but if you look, you can see free apps to build a website by yourself. They're free apps on your cell phone regarding some stuff like iMovie, for example, on an iPhone, to help create a little video clip. And then there are little trailer apps that can create a little advert, can help you create a little advert. There are so many freeware apps. And my suggestion is when you go onto the app store of your phone or your computer, make sure you look at the ratings of each app to see how many people have downloaded and how many people have rated it and what the stars are. So if you see that quite a few people have given it a good couple of stars, so 3 out of 5, 4 out of 5, you know you're onto something good. Give it a try, and if it doesn't work for you, try something else. If you are using email to send newsletters, make sure you use something like MailChimp in order to design and send your email rather than typing up a long email or sending an email attachment, because a lot of firewalls block those, and attachments can sometimes also be very large in size and end up in your spam box. So essentially, that's what I would suggest. Renee is saying that once she's contacted her circle of contacts, how do I go about getting new contacts? So what would happen is you'd start building a database. So once you start sending your WhatsApp message across your network on your cell phone, for example, or you put something out on your own social media platform, importantly, you need to keep checking for responses, and you need to have contact information. So you need to have what is called a call to action. Buy now, phone me now. The first 100 customers to call, to contact, will stand a chance to get whatever added value, okay? Then you save all of those contacts that have responded to either the WhatsApp message or your call to action on your social media or on your email. And it's very simple. You can draw up a little Excel spreadsheet with names, surnames, and a telephone number, and Bob's your uncle. For those who don't have smartphones, buying bulk SMSs, using an Excel spreadsheet is an excellent way of communicating very simply what it is that you have to offer. So always remember to try and grab a cell phone number. Very easy to communicate. People always check their cell phone messages before they check their emails. Remember that. And so your contacts will grow, and you'll be able to see in your spreadsheet, in terms of your little mini database that you've started, and in terms of the contacts on your phone, exactly how many people are responding. If people aren't responding, there could be two problems. Number one, it could be that your message is complicated and convoluted, or people might not understand what it is that you're saying. So remember, keep it simple, keep it short, and keep it beneficial, relevant to the customer, offer a solution, and offer quality relevant to the price that you're charging. And make sure that they know how to contact you in order to make a purchase. Monique says, is marketing really appropriate over this period? Example, high job losses, depression, uncertainty. Does it not seem insensitive? Absolutely not. So a really good case study is Procter & Gamble. After the Second World War, a whole lot of soldiers returned back to their places where they lived, and a Great Depression followed. In fact, there was a huge unemployment problem. And what was kind of redundant at that stage was the radio, because radios were used to listen to what was happening regarding the war. So now that the war was over, the radio seemed a bit redundant, right? Procter & Gamble saw this as a great opportunity to advertise their products by telling stories over the radio, because they knew that families huddled around the radio as a habit or as a behavior, and that during that time they had a captive audience. They started by sponsoring storytelling over the radio with their Ma Perkins soap. This is where the term soap opera comes from. And what Procter & Gamble did was not only create a relevant medium, i.e. radio, from something that was seemingly redundant, they created customer loyalty because customers resonated with Procter & Gamble for being there during a tough time for them when other brands were not. Remember, if you are not seen, you will not be remembered. The role of marketing is to create mental availability in the mind of consumers and physical availability of your product, right? So if you go off the air because this is a terrible time, you are out of sight and eventually become out of mind. So you need to be, as Warren Buffett says, greedy when your competitors aren't. This is the time to advertise and to market your products and services when your competitors are not. And what may seem like a redundant thing, think of Procter & Gamble, think of how innovatively they used the radio, and they established radio as a medium that created jobs, right? This is how we have a vibrant radio industry, and this is now how you have an additional medium to advertise. And no, they didn't sell radios. They actually sold soap. So innovation comes from finding solutions and looking at where you can find a captive audience and delivering something that resolves a problem. Luther, you're saying, how could you advise small businesses to implement blogging into their strategies, especially if they're operating with small to no budget? What would you encourage business owners to focus in their messages? So blogs are really relevant to only a certain audience. If your customers are people who listen to blogs, who read blogs, then you need to tell a story, but weave your product and the benefits into the story that you are conveying. So you want to keep it entertaining. You want to keep it short. You want to keep your message sweet and relevant to the audience that you're talking to. Not everybody reads blogs in the same way that not everybody listens to podcasts. Different audiences listen to different things. You need to understand who your customer is. You need to understand what their needs are and focus on making sure that you provide solutions for their needs before you look at things like how to communicate with them via blogs. If you have a solid customer base, you have great loyalty, then you can start looking at things like blogging and invite your customers to opt in. Start a blog on freeware that you can find online and ask your customers through a survey, also free. You get stuff like SurveyMonkey that's relatively free, and ask your customers what they think. Ask them what they want to hear about. Customers want to be empowered and they want to know that they've got a voice. So if you want to know what to put in your blog, ask your customers what they want to know about. It's the same for a newsletter. Ask your customers to give you their inputs. If they feel like they're guiding the conversation and you listen to them and respond back to them in a way that they said they would like to hear from you, you're hitting the nail on the head. And yeah, customers will then feel satisfied. You know, it's like a relationship, like I said. Everybody wants to have their voice. Everybody wants to be heard. Customers are no different. Remember what David Ogilvy said. The customer's not a moron. It's your wife or your husband. What does your wife or husband or life partner want? They want to have a voice. They want to feel empowered. They want to feel satisfied that you are meeting their needs. Exactly the same thing in business. It's all about building relationships and building long-term, mutually beneficial relationships. So you need to satisfy the customer in order for the customer to keep coming back and buying from you so that you can generate profit. It's a win-win for both of you. Are there any other questions? Let me have a quick squiz and see if there are more. We've just got a few minutes, few seconds actually to go. I can probably take one more question before the end of the webinar. Anybody else have anything else to ask at this stage? Fire away. Let me just see. Okay, looks like we've got all the questions answered. I run an events company, says Monique. What do I do besides offering vouchers for future redemption? You can create experience virtually. You can use Zoom calls. You can create events where you meet, you have 50 people, you apply for a permit, you have your 50 people, and you invite other guests via Zoom. So you still deliver the experience, and you can still have little events. I've seen weddings, people getting married during this time, people getting engaged during this time. You still can have your little events. You can offer tips on how to run a successful event, how to plan a wedding, how to plan a corporate function, and you can keep yourself relevant that way. Wombat, Renee, stands for word of mouth. Advertising is the best acquisition tactic. Remember, it costs 10 times more to acquire a new customer than it does to look after your existing customers. So your focus should always be making sure that your existing customers or those who've purchased from you are happy, satisfied, and coming back over and over and over, that they become advocates for your business. Did you get that, Renee? I'll actually type it out for you as well. There you go. Hope you got that. Alrighty. And Monique, I hope I answered you correctly. I think you have a lot to do to offer besides just vouchers. Everybody wants to know how to throw a great birthday party, how to make invitations, what are the steps to follow when having a bit of an event, how to have a successful event during the lockdown period using Zoom or using any other video platform. You can still have an experience. I had my birthday party during the stage 5 lockdown, and it was me and my family at home alone. And I had all my extended family join me on a video call. And we celebrated my birthday that way. It was a very different way of doing things, but it was memorable nonetheless. It was a wonderful birthday, to tell you the honest truth. And I was really grateful for the fact that technology enabled me to still connect with my family and celebrate my birthday in a meaningful way. Alrighty, let's see. That's it. I think our time is up.